Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining today's lesson. Let me see the participants. Okay, so in today's lesson, I'm going to be talking about information management. So our lesson will be based on information management, but I will also include your pet because now we are focusing on the practical assessment task. All right. All right. In today's lesson, questionnaires really makes finding information easy. So in the information management chapter, we are focusing on creating questionnaires. I was looking at the practical assessment task and I saw the need of discussing this with you guys. Okay, so the features of this topic, the topic will be based on MS Word form fields, how to create a questionnaire using MS form fields. Okay, sorry, MS Word form fields, right? Right, so, and there's also an activity. For an activity, I'll ask everyone to create their own survey or their own questionnaire using Microsoft Word form fields. Okay. So the steps, I'm going to show you how to create or revise on how to create a suitable questionnaire or a survey, because I saw on your pet and there's marks for this, so you need to know how to create one. If you know, good, perfect. But then if you don't know, do not worry, because this lesson will remind you or will show you how to make form fields. Okay. Okay, so when you are creating questionnaires, remember you must design questions. Your questions must be closed questions, multiple choice questions for you to get information that is straightforward and for you not to bore your participants or your respondents. All right, so it will be easy for people to send their responses, not long questions, just closed questions and multiple choice questions. So yes, so I'm also gonna show you or emphasize the use of effective layout, instructions on what to do with the completed survey. There must be an adequate space for respondents to give their responses. So when you are designing your questionnaire must have enough space for answers. All right, so yeah, let's get into it. But first, let me go through your practical assessment task. So for phase 2, in phase 2, I saw the instructions. They are instructions. The first one, it says, so you were asked to collect data and information that you may not find in your source, in other sources, or to support data or information in other sources. So you need to create an electronic questionnaire. It needs to be skillfully and appropriately designed to ensure the easy and appropriate answering of answers, as well as the accurate importing, capturing, and processing of data and information. So the first instruction in phase 2, the questions in the questionnaire should help you gather data or information from people. For an example, data or information not likely to be found in other sources, the opinions of people, the preferences of people. All right, so Brainstorm some topics whereby you can get free feedback from people through a questionnaire regarding a specific focus question from phase 1, such as the following: how to raise awareness about an issue, okay? How to, okay, we have seen those questions. So the lesson is not exactly based on the questions themselves, but on showing you how to make a questionnaire. Okay, so to create instruction number 2 says, think of the options available to you in terms of how you are going to administer the questionnaire. At least 25 respondents. So you must have 25 respondents. Trying to reach a cross-section of people, trying to reach a cross-section of people in terms of age, gender, etc. So let's say maybe you want to find information about people, especially gender, age, and then their opinions. The gender and age, okay? Creating a questionnaire. So in phase 2, you must create a questionnaire. The questionnaire must be, you should create it in a word processor and either emailing it or placing a link online. So you can create the questionnaire using Microsoft Word, then later email it to people or just give it to people. Or you can place it online, share the link so that people can download for themselves. All right. With people, you can even ask your schoolmates. You can give different people in your school to answer them. Right. So when you are done, okay, please note that the questionnaire must be created in a word processor first to be handed in. So you must hand in a questionnaire that has to be made using a word processor first. Then after, you print and distribute copies of the questionnaire, or you create an online version of the questionnaire you created using a word processor. All right, so in phase 2, you must create the questionnaire. It must be on Microsoft Word. Then you can print it out or send it to people online, give them a link, save it online and give them a link. Then after, you should create an online version of the questionnaire. So now let's look at how you can create the word processor questionnaire before you go online. Remember, online versions of the questionnaire, you can create them using online tools like the editable PDF document, Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, etc. So, but first you need to create it using word processor. All right. Now let me show you how it is made. If there's any question, let me see the participants. If there's questions, you can even ask me questions on our next session. Step 5, okay. How to create forms in Word. So the forms must be filled in directly on a computer. When you are creating this type of questionnaire or survey, people must be able to fill it in directly on a computer. So you need to use the Microsoft Word. Store the data recorded on these forms electronically instead of using controls as placeholders. So in grade 11, you used placeholders more, and the form fields were not that much used. So this year, you are not supposed to use the placeholders. You are not focusing on the placeholders. You are focusing on form fields. Okay, so we are going to make these form fields. If you cannot see the developer, okay, the first step of creating form fields. First step, you need to go to the developer tab. Let me show you. the developer tab. Right, let me share my screen. My desktop, sorry. Okay, so for the developer tab, okay. I don't know what's wrong with my screen. Okay. Okay. Let me open a new Word document. Okay, so in your Microsoft Word, how to create a form field. Say now I'm creating my questionnaire, name. I want to find out information from these people. So there must be their names, surname, age, gender, gender, what else? Sorry, spelling is wrong. Gender, yeah, for now, I only have those. So I want to make it a questionnaire that can be editable through Word, through Microsoft Word. So people must be able to add or type in stuff using Word. They don't have to print them out and write them with their pens, but they can fill them using Word. How to do that? Sometimes you find that the developer tab is not there. So when the developer tab is not there, okay, so to create a form field, you go to the developer tab and then developer tab, controls group. In the controls group, you look for the legacy tools, the legacy tools. But then sometimes it happens that maybe in your tabs, the developer tab is missing. If the developer tab is not there, for an example, let me show you. When the developer tab is not visible, like this, can you see my developer tab is not visible? So for me to be able to see or work on my developer tab, I need to activate it. I need to go to files. If you're having something like this or you don't see the developer tab, just go to the file tab. In the file tab, options, Word options, you go to customize ribbon. Then you look for main tabs. So our developer tab is not ticked. That means we have to tick so that it can be activated. So now the developer tab is visible. Now I can work on my form fields. So the next step is you click on the tab developer. Developer tab, go to the controls group. you'll see legacy tools. Legacy tools, and you see this icon, click on it, then you choose name. So, sorry, let me start over. So before you go to your developer tab, before you try to insert a form field, you need to place your cursor where you want it to appear. So I want it to appear next to name. Name, I place it there, then developer. Developer, now I have this legacy forms. So name is a text, so I can select. So where did you pause? Inserting form fields. Inserting form fields. Let's say this is your survey. You want to collect data from people. You want to give them these pages, but then now you want to create a survey or a questionnaire that people can fill in using Word. They do not have to print it out or whatever, but they can use Word just to fill in their information. So if you want to fill in the information or your information, or you want people to use the form fields to insert their information, you must go to the developer tab. Developer, so to insert the form fields, the developer tab must be there. And then if the developer tab is not, you can see the developer tab, it's fine. You just need to go to your file tab, options, then in options, Word options, you customize ribbon, you click on customize ribbon. Customize ribbon, so now we see main tabs, main popular commands. So we are not looking for commands, we are looking for tabs. There's one tab, the developer tab. So if the developer tab is not there, can you see I do not have the developer tab? So to activate the developer tab, we just need to go to file, your file tab, then customize ribbon, customize ribbon, customize ribbon, and then you look for developer. So developer is unticked. You need to tick it for it to be activated. So now my developer tab is there. I can go to the developer tab, click on the developer tab. The developer tab, there's controls, group controls. Now, in the controls group, look for legacy tools for you to choose the form fields. So now, but first, before you click on your developer tab, you need to select with your cursor, where do you want the form field to be? I want the form field to be next to the word name. Word name, now go back to developer controls group, then I look for legacy tools. Legacy tools, here are my forms. Now, name is a text, so people must insert text. They can't tick, so checkbox, I can't select checkbox or a drop-down list, because I might select a drop-down list with names of people, but not all of them. So with a drop-down list, it is impossible, but you should just use the text form field. Text, so now people can type in their names. All right, surname is also a text. So surname is the same as this one. Surname. Okay, so with surname, name is a text. So I selected text. Surname is also text. So I do not need to go back to a developer tab, but you can go if you have time, go to developer tab, but the easiest way is to just copy and paste. I copied and pasted. Okay, now I'm moving to age. Age is also a text. Age is also a text, but age is not a regular text, but it's a number. Need to select number. How did I do that? I double clicked. Remember I said developer controls and then I inserted text, but then I changed the settings. Double click, then the type of the text. So the text is not regular text. It's a number, so people must insert a number, must type in their age. So age is a number. And now gender, I can insert a drop-down form field for gender because there's not just two, I can say two and other. Yes, gender, sorry, gender. Now, for me to edit, I can double click again. Then a drop-down form field options window will pop up. After it has popped up, you just go to drop-down item. Now you must insert, you must edit, you must add your list, items in drop-down list. So in order for you to add items, you must type in, okay, the first one, I'll say, please choose or please select, and you click on add. Now please select is added. Okay, now say female, add, male, add male, and say other, then add. So this list, I think it accommodates everyone, right? So when I'm done, say okay. So when someone fails or maybe forgot to type in or choose an option from gender, this would appear. So they'll see that they need to select. This is a drop-down list. So this will make it easy for them to see that this is a drop-down list. All right, so when you are done with your form fields, now you need to protect them. You need to restrict editing. You need to protect this document, restrict people from editing this document. How do you do it? In your review tab, can you see your review tab? Review tab, click on review, restrict editing, Okay, so restrict editing. The second, can you see the second option? Edit restrictions. So we want to edit restrictions. Says here, allow only this type of editing in the document. So I want these people to only type in the form fields, but not, they mustn't be able to edit the rest of the document, but they should just be allowed only to use or to type the information in the form fields. Okay, so to restrict people, I should tick the box that says allow only this type of editing in the document. Right, so no changes. Okay. Right, so it says here no changes, but then read only. Read only, no. They must fill in forms. Fill in forms, so you must choose the option fill in forms. So people must only be allowed to fill in the forms, but not read only. Don't place it on read only. Make sure you tick and choose the filling in forms. All right, so when you are done, say yes, enforcing protection, because it says, are you ready to apply these settings? You can turn them off later. Okay, yes, I wanted to start enforcing protection. Protection, when, for protection now you have to enter your password. But make sure that you don't forget this password. But I wouldn't, like, I think I shouldn't, or I don't feel like inserting a password. I don't feel like inserting a password, not now. Okay, so I'll click on OK. Okay, so now this document has restrictions. People will be able to fill in only on the forms, but not the names. I can fill them, I can change them, but people can't change them. Okay, so maybe if it happens later, you want to change something. I want to change something. Can you see now? I can't click on the name, surname on this, but only the forms. I can change the forms. But then what happens if I want to add something on the document later? I want to make changes later. What happens? What do I need to do? Okay, so for me to be able to make changes, I need to come back. Say maybe I closed the document, then I come back later. I want to change, I want to make changes. I go back to the review tab. Review tab, restrict editing. Restrict editing. Yes, so restrict editing. Okay, now for me to be able to change or to stop the protection, I can click on stop protection. If you have a password, it will require you to type in the password, but I didn't type in the password. I didn't insert the password. My document didn't have the password. So now it is unlocked. I can change, I can make changes. Can make changes to the document. I can even add more information. Whatever that I want to type or whatever that you feel like you needed to add or you need to add, you can now add. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for form fields. I think you now have an idea of how to insert form fields. Okay. All right, so I have shown you how to do it. Remember, the first thing we said, you need to see if you can see the developer tab. If the developer tab is not there, you know what to do. Go to File tab, and then Options, Customize Ribbons, and then you choose. You go to your tabs. If developer is unticked, you tick and click on OK. Then the developer tab is there. You know then what to do. developer tab, controls group, then you click on your legacy tools. There's a legacy tools icon there. You choose a form field. If it's a name text, then if it's something that you feel it requires a checkbox, you can select a checkbox. Selecting a checkbox is very easy. I have also shown you how to select a drop-down list. So you know how to select this and edit the drop-down information and add the drop-down information. Yes, I think that's it for today. That's it for today. So the lesson was based on this, right? So, but before I close, let me go back to my practical assessment task. So now you are able to create a questionnaire using word processor. I think now you can move to the second step. If you are done creating a questionnaire, but you feel after seeing my lesson you have some mistakes, you can go back and fix those mistakes. All right, I hope this lesson helped you guys. Next time we are going to I'm going to discuss with you now how to create a questionnaire online. We can practice this using Google Forms, SurveyMonkey. Yes, so on Monday we are going to discuss or practice how to create a survey or a questionnaire using Google Forms or SurveyMonkey. Sorry. Yes, and on Monday you can, if you have any questions with regards to the questions, maybe you have a problem of deciding whether a question is a closed type of a question or it's unclosed, you are not sure, you can come back with those questions. I'm open for questions. And yeah, guys, then from number three is based on the questions. We will discuss the questions and also the online tools of creating a questionnaire, right? And then later, next week, not later, but next week, also next week, we will move to the process and analyze data in a spreadsheet because I'm helping you with information management. Some skills, you know them, some you need help with them. So I'm here for help. Yeah, and thank you guys for joining my lesson. I hope you enjoyed. Yes, and yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day.